So we are talking about belief today, and how it determines the life we have. But we got to start before that. Like, who are we? Where does the person Paul, the identity Paul, come from? Because that's who has my beliefs, and it's those beliefs that are keeping kind of the structure of my life in place. I am a product of my sociogenic traits, my society that I grew up in. So where in the world I was born, the parents I have, the schooling I went to, the time I was born. So in this period of time on Earth, there are certain beliefs, and they're shared beliefs. So those are my sociogenic traits. That part makes up the part of me that's the sociogenic trait. Then there's the ideogenic trait, my personal reaction to these things. So my family might have a belief, but I have a different belief, or how I reacted to that belief. But this makes up who I am. There's also the biogenic traits, which are common throughout all humans. We're going to get into that in a little bit later. But these beliefs, those products of my identity, create the life I have. Basically, we just repeat patterns. And those patterns that we repeat are our glass ceiling. That's how far we can go. That's the range we can venture. It's like, if anyone's seen Westworld, the initial seasons, there are these robots, and they are playing out scenarios, and they can only go to certain ranges. If they go to a different part of the park, they can't function anymore. So that's like us. We have this range that we can venture into. And so that's what I want to break down today and to look at, is what's keeping these in place, where did they come from, and what can we do about it? How can we live outside of it? So these beliefs are hidden. We can't, we don't even know they exist because we're repeating them so much. And they develop in different stages of brain development in our lives, and we start setting them in place, and they become so subconscious we don't know we have them. It's like that story of the older fish that swims up to two younger fish and says, "Isn't the water nice today?" And when he swims off, one of the younger fish turns to the other one and says, "What's water?" We're so familiar with them that we don't know that we're doing them. We're just repeating them. If you showed up to your friends and family, they know it's you because of your behavior patterns. If you started acting differently, they might think that someone else is inhabiting your body. You're now acting differently, and those actions are reactions to external stimuli. So I'm reacting constantly to what's happening externally, but I'm reacting in the same way I always react. And I always react that way because at one point it kept me safe in my life. So I developed that behavior. I developed that pattern. These loops that we live in are the ranges that we can go. We can only go as far as our belief will take us. So that's why we have the limiting beliefs. So if maybe I develop a pattern when I'm young. It might be a pattern that I'm gonna study really hard, and I'm gonna focus on my studies, and I'm gonna get results from it. I get good grades, and those grades get me accolades. So that's my pattern. I'm gonna study hard, perform well. And that's becoming my loop. Now, as I progress through life, I get different stuff, but I'm running the same loop. So maybe my grades got me into a certain college, and that college got me a certain degree. Maybe it's a law degree from a great school. And so now I am studying, performing, getting good results, and I end up with a law degree from Harvard. Now I go out and I open up a practice, and I study hard, I perform well, and now I get money, and I get respect, and I get acknowledgement. And then I keep going through these loops in life, getting different things, so I feel like I'm progressing. But really, I'm being controlled by this loop. I have no freedom outside that loop. I can't suddenly be someone different, because I can't even see that I'm doing it. I'm just so familiar. It's in my subconscious. It's coded in my subconscious. But I want you to understand this today, that how important this is to start shining a light on it. Because this is what I call the shadow work. We want to shine a light on this hidden part of ourselves that we don't even know exists. You can probably look at the life you have, and you can work backwards to why you have that life. And it comes from some belief. You might be a musician. Why are you a musician? How were you exposed to music, to that instrument, to the career you had? In business, people often talk about you're as successful as the relationships you have. So you might be someone who's good at developing relationships, at connecting with people. And you might have developed that pattern because it kept you safe in kindergarten. I can share my toy with this other person, and they like to play with me, and I became good at that. I'm good at connecting with people, good at being open with people. Whatever it is, I developed this trait, and these traits become my loops. So I'm living my life in these loops, and they're my beliefs. Now is where the biogenic trait comes in. We automatically defend our beliefs, even if we don't particularly believe in them. And you'll see this when you have conversations with people. You'll say something, and it will challenge their belief. They'll automatically defend it, even if they don't really believe in it. That argument will reinforce their belief. So if you want to change someone's mind, you have to give them agreement. Oh, okay, yeah, I agree with that. Then they're open to the possibility of changing. If not, they're just going to defend their belief. And they're going to come up with better arguments of how to defend this. And so you're not going to get anywhere. We're also doing this with ourselves. We have this range we can go. Maybe there's something I want to do in my life. I ask my client, whenever I have new clients who want to get healthy and fit, I ask them, why aren't you at your goals? Because I want to hear what they believe. If I suddenly come in and go, hey, you need to eat differently, they're going to defend what their selves, their beliefs, and it's not going to be possible that what I recommend is correct. So we get in this kind of place where we're stuck. We can't go any further because we're now defending our beliefs. Why do we defend our beliefs? There's a couple of reasons. One, because I wouldn't exist without them. Imagine if you disappeared, not your physical body, who you are disappeared. That would feel like there's nothing tangible, there's nothing to grab onto. That's a very scary place for a human to be. We lock people up in mental institutes because they don't know who they are. So we want to repeat this pattern so we have something tangible, something fixed we can hang on to. I know who I am. So then I can, and I am who I am by repeating these patterns, by this loop that I'm living in. The other one is that it's a biogenic trait that is in place because it bonds us. It keeps us as a tribe connected. And that's important because we're vulnerable animals. I have to defend beliefs because if I didn't, it would invalidate my existence, my tribe, and I would be alone. So I automatically have to believe in it. And we can divide people into groups very, very easily, into tribes very, very easily. You can get a random group of people, put them at two different tables, and play a game, and they're automatically bond with their team. We're the red team against the yellow team, and these teams become the tribes. And so we have other tribes. Our country is a tribe. We go to the Olympics, we compete against other tribes. We bond together. Hey, my team's better than your team. And so we have these collective beliefs, and we have these ideogenic beliefs, these personal beliefs. This is what is determining your life. This is the filter that we experience the world through. Is what I believe in myself, but it's subconscious. So we have to go and fish it out, what our beliefs are, in order to change them. Free will is making choice not based on any past belief, which is practically impossible, right? I'm going to make a choice that's not based on anything in my past. So it could be, would you like pizza? Yes, I'd like pizza. Oh, based on what? Based on my past enjoyment of it. I believe that I'm going to enjoy that because I did in the past. And we're constantly going through life making these choices based on our past. So you can imagine what it would be like to break free from these, to be able to get out of it. It would feel like there's nothing there to grasp onto. So it's almost like a death. And there's books that talk about this. People go through this enlightenment, which is basically they don't have any beliefs anymore. They don't know what's out there. They're not stuck in their personality loop. They're broken free. They realized it was a loop, that my identity is a loop. Who I am being, I'm just repeating patterns. And my life I get is repeating patterns because through my reasons and justifications. Say I want to become a really good runner. I will get to a certain place in my life of running, and then I will justify why I shouldn't run and get back into my loop. For example, I'm going to run tomorrow morning, and then it's cold outside. So I justify, I'll start the next day because it's a bit cold to go running. Or I can't run today, I ran yesterday and my body needs rest. Or there's something more important I need to do, so I'm going to do it later. Whatever our justification is, that's my glass ceiling. That keeps me in place. So I can't progress out of that. I can't change my life because I have the belief. But people don't want to give up their belief because that's very, very scary. Like I said, that's who I am. I am my beliefs. And I'm connected to others because of my beliefs. I know there's people, whether it's my family, my friends, the society I live in, I know there's we share a common belief. And so that gives me comfort. I'm not on my own. So we are steadfast with our beliefs because it makes us feel part of something. And I already see there's a question up there, so that's good. Put on Instagram, there's questions. You can, there's a little card with a question mark in it. Put your questions there, then I can jump in them in Facebook. Just ask, you can ask it in the comments below. Because it's a perspective that people don't usually come from. We don't realize how our life is determined. Why do we have the life we have? And it's really this glass ceiling. I can't move outside of it. So I want to start talking about how do we break through that glass ceiling. We have to have behaviors that go against our comfort.